And I was kind of zipping through that last little portion, but the excess nitrogen from runoff in the entire Midwestern area here, huge portion of the United States, gets into the waterways, rivers, streams, eventually all link into the Mississippi River, and which drains this huge area of land in the United States, and all that excess nutrients empties into the Gulf of Mexico. And just like what we saw earlier in the lake situation or the lake example, you get a bloom of algae and phytoplankton. So when that stuff starts to die, it's consumed by bacteria, and you get a low oxygen content area of water, and fish and such die or are excluded. So you get this huge dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico that fluctuates seasonally based on the runoff and the excess nitrogen that gets added into our waterways. So conservation and restoration biology, important areas. So ecological research work is being done worldwide to help find solutions to our environmental problems and to hopefully reverse the negative results of the human alterations of ecosystems worldwide. So this is very critical, important work to try to mitigate the damage and even reverse the damage and restore some ecosystems on the planet, at least habitats and communities. So conservation biology, a nice goal-oriented discipline, science that seeks to understand and counter the loss of biodiversity. So a fair amount of the work is just to try to describe what the interactions are at the community and ecosystem level so that we can try to restore damaged ecosystems, hopefully to their original conditions. So restoration ecology is that work. So the use of ecological principles to develop methods of returning the degraded areas to natural states often includes simple things like removing foreign, exotic, invasive species plants, and planting native ones to help foster the natural native ecosystems in parts of the world. So let's jump to diversity hotspots. So conservation biology has been applied to the understanding of populations, community, and ecosystem dynamics in helping to establish parks and wildlife areas and other legally protected nature preserves or reserves. So this is a figure I found. It's not in your textbook, but it shows that over the years, as ecological damage has accelerated, on the positive side is that the number of sites and area of sites that have been under some sort of protection, whether they're parks or wilderness areas or nature reserves or preserves, has grown quite a bit over the years. So that's a nice thing to see, that worldwide there is a concerted effort to try to protect regions, and in particular hotspots. So hotspots are areas of particular interest on the planet where restoration and protection and conservation efforts are been highlighted in a way, because these areas where's my cursor? These areas which may be relatively small in certain places are very important because you have large numbers of endangered and or threatened species, and often a high concentration of endemic species. So an endemic species is a species that's found in a particular place and really nowhere else. So it's too small to see here, but the Galapagos Islands, for example, has a huge number of endemic species. So these are areas of particular concern because they're referred to as hotspots. So they're areas that kind of cry out for management and conservation efforts. And that is it for this chapter, a relatively long one.